What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my yellow D-Brigade rookie rush list that I used to win a remote duel yesterday, as well as get second at one of my locals earlier in this week. And this is a list that I use a lot in BT5, but never had much time to refine it because I was playing just a bunch of Lord Nightmon in tournaments. But now that we have extended BT5, I wanted to come back and try to optimize it. And I got this list to where I only have one singular card that I'm not super sure of, and I'll let you know what that is. I haven't fully decided what I think that card would be, but I'll let you know what it is, and you guys can make your best decisions from there. But going on into it, we have 4 Sumomon and 1 Missymon. The reason we're playing the 4 Sumomon is because you are almost always going to have this active by having 2 or more Commandramon on board, and you're going to get the 2k boost, as where this gives you 1k boost. Now this is more consistent if you have more Commandramons on board, but we are playing 16 Commandramon, so you are more than likely going to have 2, maybe even 3 Commandramon on board at pretty much all times. So the Sumomon is just way more powerful in most situations, and so I decided to go 4 and 1. You still want the 5 eggs so you can hatch and promote as much as possible and get all that rookie cycling going. So 4 and 1 here. You can change this if you feel this is better, but I do believe that Sumomon is going to be more active. Next up, we're going to have the 16 Commandramon. So we obviously have the rare Commandramon, the best one that searches, the blocker Commandramon, our 2-drop Commandramon, and then our 5k DP Commandramon. Now these are all great for different reasons. The rare one is obviously broken because it searches out. The blocker is a blocker. The 2-drop is great to have the 2-drop, and having a 5k Digimon is very important because of things like Yellow, where they have a lot of 4k DP reduction with War Growlmon and Nightmon. So having 5k is really important. So all these are very valuable. So you want to play all 16 so you can have as many D-Brigade and Commandramon as possible. Now getting into some of the yellow cards, we do have the 4 Falcomon here. Now this is our 2-drop 5k rookie that we have. Most rookie rush lists are going to play more, but since we are playing the D-Brigade package, we don't have the room or the color to really play more. So we are just playing the Falcomon here to be the great, strong 2-drop 5k that we need. It's going to be really, really good early, and then obviously we just want yellow activations for our yellow option cards. So 4 Falcomon. And then we have 4 Starmons. You have to play 4 Starmons in this deck. This card and Spiral Masquerade are the whole reason of even putting yellow in this D-Brigade list. So if you are playing the yellow D-Brigade, you're going to want to run 4 Starmons and 4 Spiral Masquerade because they just work with the deck so well, and it's really the main reason you run yellow. So Starmons is fantastic in this list. It's really good at getting rid of a lot of blockers and stuff, or playing this and going Spiral Masquerade right after when you have 3 or 4 Commandramon on board. It's very, very powerful. So Starmon's very, very good. You want to play it as a 4-0 for maximum consistency and just because it's broken. Then we're playing 2 Pulsemon. Pulsemon's really good in this list because you don't have as much draw in this list as many other lists. So you want to prioritize some draw. We do have some other cards that we'll talk about here soon that are mostly there for draw, and Pulsemon's very much the same. You can play 3, and we'll talk about that in a second, but if you do change list in this, I wouldn't go up to 4. Pulsemon's a card that's obviously really, really good in most situations, but when you're playing Rookie Rush, having a Digimon that costs 3 and all it does is either it just draws is something that is good sometimes, but not good all the time. So I like it at 2, maybe 3, but 4 is going to be too clunky. It's just a card that's not as impactful with its on play, but it's good enough that it gives you that draw consistency that you need. Then we're going to have 2 Sukamon and 1 Hagurumon. Now, this Hagurumon is the one card in the list that I'm not sure about. I just threw in these Sukamons and the Hagurumons as extra 2-drops so you can get some more board presence going. And at first I was going to play the 3 Sukamon for yellows, but then I decided to cut down to 1 Hagurumon so that way I could have an extra black source to put my champions on top of. Or if I wanted to Digivolve this in Raising, if I was for some reason missing some Commandramons, I do have that extra option. So with this, I would either change it to a Sukamon or a Pulsemon, if you will, but still not 100% sure what the best slot is. But I will say this 1 Hagurumon is the card that I would change, and you can really change it to whatever rookie you feel is best, even if that's just a 3rd 2-drop yellow. Then we have the 4 Dramon. We don't really want to play blockers in Rookie Rush, but you have to. 1, because it's a D-Brigade, and 2, because a lot of other Rookie Rush lists are just going to be generally faster than this list, and so having the ability to slow them down a little bit in the early turns before you start getting to your Spiral Masquerades and whatnot is going to be very, very good. So the 4 Dramon is also something that helps the D-Brigade package getting to your Dark Dramon because it is a blocker, so it incentivizes it dying sometimes, so that will be another D-Brigade in your trash. So Dramon is just pretty staple as a 4-of in these D-Brigade type lists. Then we're going to have 2 Tankmon and 2 Turrimon. I was originally playing these 2 Turrimon as cute mons as a way to try to slow down green and their Nidhogg, but then I decided that the Cutemons aren't really as impactful in many matchups, and they don't really stop Nidhogg that much, so I decided to cut them down and go up into the Turrimons, and then the two Tankmons, the two Turrimons are, once again, like the Pulsemon, they're mostly there for cycle. Being able to pay 1 memory to make something that's weaker, like your Starmons, for example, go up to 6k while drawing, and then being able to swing over 5k blockers is very powerful. So you don't want to go too crazy with the champions here because they're not that impactful. Like I said, they're just buffing up your weaker Digimon as well as giving you a 1 memory draw, which is important. So I decided to go 2 and 2 because we already have 4 black champions here, so you don't need to go as crazy with the Tankmons. And the Turrimons sometimes are less consistent because you don't have as many yellow Digimon, but since this deck has pretty much multiple options every single turn that you can play, if you have 1 or 2 turns where the Turrimon's kind of dead, it's not that big of a deal just because you can just play other rookies and stuff like that, and then find the cycle that you need to get these Turrimons out. So 2 and 2 has been pretty good here. It's, like I said, just really supplements the deck in the mid game. Then we have the 3 Dark Dramon. Now, 3 Dark Dramon is going to be something that I play in most D-Brigade lists, opposed to 4 or 2. When I was playing 4, I was bricking very, very hard with them, or they were just clunking up my hand super, super hard. And when I was playing 2, I wasn't seeing them very often. So after playing a lot of D-Brigade decks, I decided to just go to 3, and that's pretty much just my go-to in most D-Brigade decks is play 3. I found that to be the most consistent, so I just went with what I knew here. Then we're playing 1's Wart Defeat. I was playing 2, and I feel like a lot of people would probably play 2 level 7s in this list, but the thing is when you're focusing more on Rookie Rush, you're not going to get up to your Wart Defeats as often. You can only put them on the Dark Dramon because we don't have level 5s or any other level 6s, so I found this to be a card that is really, really good when you get it out and stuff like that, but if you have multiple in your hand, or if you have like a Wart Defeat with like 2 Dark Dramons in hand, it feels really, really, really bad, especially in the early game. So I decided to cut down to 1. It's one of those cards where it's still good enough to play, but when you're playing 2, you are going to have a way higher chance of clunking it. And obviously, you have a way lower chance of hitting it in security when you're playing it at 1, but you don't really have to worry about that. It's just one of those things where it's really nice to buff up your Dark Dramons when you can, and then get rid of one of your opponent's Tamers, and then if you do get out of security, that's absolutely fantastic. Then we're playing 2 Izzy for our Tamers. A lot of lists, I'm pretty sure, are playing a TK, and I did test the TK, and I think TK is really, really, really bad because in the late game, mid to late game, if you play TK, there's going to be a very, very high chance that you are not going to find a yellow card, and you're just going to be losing a security, which is going to put you very, very far behind. So if you were wanting to play a 3rd Tamer, I would just play Izzy. Izzy works way better with this game plan because you get to rearrange the top of your deck, so you can either rearrange your Command Dramon, so that way when your rare Command Dramon gets its on deletion, you're guaranteed to hit the Command Dramon that you want, or you can move it around so you make sure that the next draw is what you need. Maybe you want to hit one of your champions so you can buff up, or maybe you want something like a Spiral next turn. So Izzy is just going to be very, very important. You're not going to expect to get the effect of gaining a memory by having all 3 blacks. It does happen sometimes, but it's very rare. But the thing is, rearranging your deck is going to be way more valuable than searching your security, and it doesn't have the downside of potentially losing a security. So I play the 2 Tamers. If you want to play a 3rd, I'll just play a 3rd Izzy because it's going to be way more impactful and way more consistent. Then we're playing the 4 Spiral. We already talked about it. You have to play Spiral here. It's pretty much the main reason why you're putting yellow in this deck, because of the absolute power that you can get from this card by going wide. So playing the 4 Spiral here, there's not really much to say. Like I said, if you've played Rookie Rush, you know that when you have 4 or 5 Digimon on board and you play Spiral, you pretty much clear your opponent's board, and then you have way too many attacks for your opponent to really recover. And then playing 4 is going to up the consistency of it being in your security, and hitting this out of security against Rookie Rush always feels absolutely terrible. And then to finish off the list, we are going to have 3 Blinding Ray. Now, Blinding Ray is not as important in this list as it is with other Rookie Rush lists, just because we have Tamers in this list, which a lot of other Rookie Rush decks don't. And so you don't necessarily need this, but the thing is with Blinding Ray is there's a lot of Digimon that you can just play for the 2 memory that you get. So you're essentially trading a security for a rookie on board with this card. And it also makes it so that if you are getting, if you do miss your Tamers, because we are playing 2, then you have more consistency of getting that memory. So you can go up to your Dark Dramon or whatever you need to do to get that 3 memory out. So I've just found Blinding Ray to be pretty good. I was playing 4 at one point, but like I said, I found Blinding Ray to not be as good in this list as other Rookie Rush decks. And so whenever I find a card that I think is pretty good, but not good and like not super crazy, I'll usually put it at 3 just because I find that being the most consistent number. And Blinding Ray's been really good at 3. You could potentially go down to 2 just because, like I said, it's not as important in this list, but I've been playing 3, and I think 3 is pretty consistent. So that's going to be the list. I hope this is something that you enjoy, gives you some fun, something to play while we are still in BT5. And you know, I love D-Brigade, and I have a bunch of D-Brigade lists on the channel, so I'm always testing with different D-Brigade stuff, and I'm really having fun with this style of deck because it's completely different than the other D-Brigade lists that I've played. So I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time for some more Digimon content. Have a great day. Peace out.